the most poignant scene for me was when I died in his arms. That was poignant for me because he was crying. He was, well, he's always been very present. He's always present when he's performing. But when he was crying and holding me, I wanted to cry. It took all of my energy not to cry with him. And of course, we all know that corpses don't cry. So it was poignant for me. That was a very, it was a deep day. And also, I believe it was also my last day.
Yeah, it was my last day too.
Yeah, I rapped that day. So
that's a scene that was actually never played on stage. You know, you never saw Angel in the hospital. You never saw what it looks like for somebody with AIDS, you know, before they expire. We never saw that on stage. You know, through the magic of theater, it just happened. We actually see Angel slip away. So, you know, I was immersed in it while we were filming it, so, you know, it was very hard to have any perspective on it. But the truth of the matter is, when I finally did see it on the screen, I realized that, wow, I forgot that, you know, that's what happens. You know, that's how, you know, someone with that disease would expire, and it's really kind of hard to watch, you know.
They were all, I remember every moment of it. They were all really, really amazing. We had this emotional week where they kind of lined up all of our emotional scenes in 1 week, and we're like, God, we're going to be sobbing for a week. So the first day of that, just kind of getting into that mode was like, really, we just really kind of like really bonded that day. It was the day of the funeral. The funeral was easy. By the time we got to that, we had already been through the cemetery the first day. And we just really just all kind of, I think, bonded that day. And by the end, we were telling jokes to try to just keep our spirits up because we were all so sad, and practical jokes were happening by the end of the day. And so, I mean, I will always remember that day, actually.
I always remember going to visit Adam when he was shooting Glory on the rooftops in New York City. It was early on in the shooting process. And just, you know, having been so worried that things weren't, that the movie was not going to be done properly and was going to feel like it was stolen from us in some weird way, that when I saw that, I hadn't envisioned it like that, but it was right. Like, it was more than I had envisioned, and it sort of took a sigh of relief.
For me, watching it, La Vie Boheme was just, you know, when we did the play, that was so much fun. I never tired of watching that number, and it was great. How many days?
We had like 5 days in the Life Cafe.
A full week, and I was very excited throughout that entire week of, you know, to just be watching all of the energy and you know, some of the same people, some of the different people. Just such an expression of joy and love and excitement. You know, it really resonated with me.
We had to do the finale and the Your Eyes / finale. Like, it was about 3 days, I guess, because of all the different angles we had to shoot it, and that was very. Watching Adam and Rosario, I mean, essentially the four of us in that scene, you know, Tracy, Adina, Jesse, and I are just off to the side the whole time watching, and Adam and Rosario had to go through that 3 days straight, and by virtue of watching them having to do that, and what it required, the place that they had to go for 13 hours every day for 3 days straight, was incredibly impressive and very moving to see.
Your Eyes is definitely a heartbreaker. The I'll Cover You reprise, I think, for all of us was just such a moving experience to be there that day and be involved in that scene and to watch Jesse perform that song, and you know, I'll never forget it, and I'll be able to use it forever as you know, inspiration for other scenes that I may have to do in the future, and you know, sort of go back and refer to that, you know, in my memory. Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of them. There was, you know, that's the great thing about doing a musical, is that, you know, every time you do it on camera, you turn the music on and you're right back in it, you know, and so it just brings you right where you need to be as soon as the music comes up. There's not a lot of preparation that's needed, at least for me, to get to where I need to go with this particular material, because it's right there for you. And I think that that's part of the reason the audiences are so responsive to this material, because it's right there for them too. And so I think we're tapping into that same thing that the audience is tapping into, and we're just the ones who have to perform it. But I think it's the same emotion that the audience is getting from it that we're using to tap in to actually do the performance.
You know, La Vie Boheme is my favorite song of all of them, that just of performing and just being a part of. And we shot that over a week, and that was just really, it's emotional just because it's such a celebration. I love taking that side of it. You know, I love being able to just articulate so clearly, like, this is who I stand, what I stand for, and these are the people that I champion, and this is the life that I celebrate. I'm not going to look at the negative side of it. I'm going to look at the positive, you know, and I have plenty of support in that space because it has existed, even though people have, and those people have all struggled for it as well, and it's worth the struggle, you know, so there's something so powerful about that. I'll Cover You Reprise, obviously. I mean, that song is so moving. We were doing Goodbye Love, which actually I think probably was the most emotional for me to do acting-wise, you know, all the way throughout from 1, 2, and 3. It was very draining, and you have your eyes are puffed out this big, and you're squirting tears across the table, you know, and it's like so much.